Thank you again for being back with us on the Missoula podcast.
I love the Missoula podcast. What a journey this has been. It's been so much fun.
I love it too, Brandon.
The conversations, the people we get to meet, the impact in the community. It's been rewarding. What a great place we live. We need more great guests. Love to have more great guests. So you as our audience, those who listen, if you know of somebody that you think would be an exceptional conversation on the pod, send them over to themissoulapodcast.com. Click be a guest, fill out that intake form. Someone on our team will get back with them, but we just want to keep finding these conversations and continue bringing great episodes to our community.
Yeah, and that really is our mission. We love this place, and we know a lot of people love it also, highlighting people's stories, their businesses, entrepreneurs, anybody that's really has made an impact on this great city that we call home. So please, if you have somebody or you yourself that thinks would be a great guest.
I'm also grateful for those of you that have liked the show, have subscribed. You know, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever platform you may use. Thank you for subscribing. This show is growing week over week, and really grateful for that. If you have not yet liked or subscribed, at the next red light, hit subscribe. On your desktop, quickly scroll over, hit subscribe. Greatly appreciate your following and the impact the show's making.
Yeah, I'm excited for our guest today, Brandon.
Speaking of impact.
Impact. This guy's a mover and a shaker. There's no doubt about it.
Wild card,
raw.
Were you kind of nervous interviewing him?
I was, because he was so intense and just, he's so driven.
Yeah.
Like he's always thinking about how he can, create a new business, how he can help this. And I don't ever know what direction he was going. You've known him for a long time. So
yeah, the thing with Ryan Bradshaw is you never know what's going to come out of his mouth next. Like he's one of my favorite people because you're always on the edge of your seat when you're around him or with him. Ryan's a great guy. He's built multiple businesses. He and his wife have found success in different marketing programs, very entrepreneurish. He's passing that down to his kids and teaching them how to build business. He coaches youth sports. He was my son's AAU basketball coach for several years. I don't even know how we first met. Actually, it's a lie. We played basketball against each other in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Is where it first started. And just have the utmost respect and admiration for Ryan Bradshaw. Just love the guy and just a fun conversation. So sit back, relax, take a listen. This is the Missoula Podcast with Ryan Bradshaw. Ryan Bradshaw, what's going on, man?
Not much. I'm excited to be in here. Dude. I'm admiring the setup.
Well, thank you.
The setup is legit.
Not bad for some humble dudes.
Couple amateurs.
Yeah, a couple amateurs.
First thing first, you're wearing a Lakers hat.
That's why I'm surprised it looks so good in here.
Yeah.
Anybody that supports the Celtics, you expect a lot less. I represent winning franchises.
Wow.
Wow.
Shots have been fired.
I think we've won the same number of championships.
So let me clarify something.
And you have one that was in the bubble.
Let me clarify
so there's
something.
An asterisk on that.
Of course, we do have a bubble, but the Celtics have won one championship since 1985.
That's right.
One. And they talk, all they can hang their hat on is the 50s and 60s when our grandparents aren't even alive still that couldn't witness that. So I guess Celtics, wow, we won what?
I'm
10 out of 11.
I'm with you, Ryan. They're a bunch of plumbers. They were playing a bunch of plumbers.
At some point, you got to just say, hey.
Hey, well, here we are on the Missoula podcast. No, dude, Ryan, seriously, excited to have you. Just this morning, I was thinking, when did Ryan and I first meet? And I think our first interaction was on the basketball court back in late 90s, early 2000s. You were Drummond, Montana.
Yeah, Drummond.
Just a kid from Drummond. And Steven, you probably don't know this, but Bradshaw could ball out.
I had my time.
He was that kid where
I had my time.
It didn't matter where in the gym, he was in range.
Mm-hmm.
And just
we had a good time, man, playing hoops,
Remember the and one era?
Oh,
That's
I remember we would look at Valley Christian on a schedule and just circle a W.
hey,
You
easy
know,
now. You don't
actually,
know
that's
this,
not
right?
true. Actually,
you don't know
No.
this.
I'm the head coach for Valley
He's
Christian now.
Valley's varsity head
you
coach.
being
Oh, is
from
that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're my enemy already.
Drummond Valley.
Oh no, Valley was actually good back in the day.
Yeah.
Valley
Yeah.
were good, man.
Yeah,
Those were
For sure.
good.
Had some good teams.
Yeah,
So no, Ryan, what's your story? You graduated from Drummond,
yeah. I graduated Drummond in
assuming you
'98.
graduated.
Yeah, barely.
And then, I mean, you just had a life of entrepreneurship, multiple businesses. You're very active in the community. Walk us through just your story from the day you graduated Drummond High School.
Yeah, I graduated Drummond in '98, and then 1998. Yeah, and I went to Rick's College for 2 years, and so tried playing basketball over there. It didn't work out that well for me, and then that's a Mormon school, so a
And
lot of
this is
people
in
don't know
South Idaho.
that. Yeah, it's now BYU Idaho is what it is now.
That's
Okay.
right.
It was called Rick's College back then.
Mhm.
And so I was active in the Mormon church, during that time. My family's not Mormon. And so once I got out of Rick's, I came back to, I was going to try to play basketball in Dillon,
Mhm.
was going to get a really good shot at it. And then I blew my ACL
Oh.
in 2000. And then that put me in Missoula. So one of my good friends from Rick's was going to come to school here. So I just said, I'm going to go to school here. So that ACL injury, I always look back and I think that really changed my life. Because if it wouldn't have happened, I would have went to school in Dillon. I
Mhm.
would have played basketball in Dillon. I wouldn't know anybody here. I don't think I would have ever came here.
It's really funny. My freshman year of college tore my ACL, and I go back to that moment, and that changed the directory of my life. That one injury,
Big time.
completely relate.
What'd you get a degree in at U of M?
I graduated in communications. So it was organizational communication I had an emphasis in relationship management too, with basically counseling. So ironically, marriage counseling could have been something like that.
Mhm.
So I just was trying to avoid math, and I hated school.
Sure.
I think school sucks and it's a waste of time. So I really am not a fan of the school systems. And if it wasn't for my lovely wife, I wouldn't even have my kids in school. I honestly would probably pull them
Mhm.
out of school. I don't think kids learn anything important in school anymore. And I know I'm going to get just berated for that. But our public school systems, they don't teach anything about credit scores, mortgages, investments, savings, nothing. Nothing that not even how to buy a house.
Mhm.
All the things that you should know. Instead, my kids being forced to take band or choir.
Sure.
I
Right.
know on a podcast you can't see the eye roll,
No.
but I don't agree with it, a lot of it. So, but I know they love their friends too. So
Sure. And this is an opinion I've heard from a lot of entrepreneurial people that have gone out there and taken the school of hard knocks. Like, why wasn't I taught this in school? All these lessons that I'm now knowing and learning. And so I've heard this a lot. And sorry for jumping ahead in
Oh,
the story,
no.
but it sounds like you had that entrepreneurial spirit real early on. Is that right?
yeah, well, I just knew I never wanted to work for anybody.
Mm.
So in college, I was going through the motions because my parents wanted me to go to college. That's all I ever knew was college. It was like, hey, I didn't think there was any other choice after high school but to go to college. So it was like, God, I got to go to college.
What was your first job, like the first business you started out of school
It's my first job in high school.
or out of school? The first business you actually started.
The first one I actually started would have been RMF Entertainment. I worked for random jobs all through college, Sam Goody was my favorite one.
That's
Remember Sam Goody?
Sam Goody in the mall.
Does anybody know Sam
Yeah.
Goody anymore?
No, I
Look at
did
this guy
not.
doesn't
He
even know
does.
Sam Goody.
It's do you know what a CD is?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Does it
you had to buy CDs back in the day. You had to go buy them, and you would wait for Tuesdays and
I was gonna
Fridays.
say
Tuesdays
Tuesdays and-
singles would come out.
Yeah.
Friday's album come out.
And you'd run to Sam Goody here and hope that you got one of the 3 copies
Yes.
that Missoula got.
Kids don't have a clue what it was like, man, to hit Sam Goody.
Better
funny.
days.
Yeah,
Where'd
way
you work?
better.
Where'd you work at Sam Goody? What location?
Here in Missoula.
At the Missoula Mall.
Yeah,
That is
Missoula Mall,
awesome.
man. It was awesome. I love the people I worked with. Probably one of the best times of my life. If I had to look back, you'll realize how good you have it back then.
Yeah.
I only made $5 an hour, dude. $5.15 an
That's
hour.
crazy.
So you love music early,
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, early on. So we were rapping, you know. I met a guy at Rick's College named Rupert, and he would freestyle rap right before practices all the time. And he's just rapping. And I was like, man, I want to rap. And Eminem was super popular in 99, 2000. So it was almost like Eminem gave every white boy the card, like, hey, it's okay to be a rapper and not be called Vanilla Ice. So everybody tried rapping at that time, and we would try to battle rap. So I'm like, I can't battle rap, so I got to write them. And so we just started doing that. And then when I got to Missoula, it just, that's what I was doing more than anything. School was just kind of in the background. I always knew that I was different when it come to that.
Was there like a music scene in Missoula at that time where there was? Okay.
Yeah, Missoula's always been heavy with music. In fact, back in the day, and I'm going to sound like that old guy that's always like back in the day, everything to me was better back in the day. But that was when Missoula to me was at its best. You didn't have near these bums. Downtown didn't look like Skid Row out of LA. It was the scene was popping, man. It was like you had the boardroom, you had the elbow room on Thursday. You guys remember the elbow room, man, on Thursday nights? The Limelight.
The platters of beer for 5 cents a piece. Yeah. I remember
Limelight
that.
on Tuesdays, Bodega on Wednesdays. The scene was huge. There was DJs, there was live music everywhere. And you had to actually go out of your house to see your friends.
So then you started RMF.
Started RMF in 2006, end of 2006, 2007. Because me and Jo, that's who I rap with. We had 2006 was a huge year for my rapping. We sold out to Wilma in November. That was 11/11/06. We sold it out trying to impress Strange Music because we had been opening shows for Tech Nine that whole year. And that was before Tech Nine was Tech Nine now. Tech Nine back then was still doing bars. So we wanted to impress Strange Music. We sold out to Wilma. We thought we had it. And then we were broke. And I didn't have any money. So I had to go get a job, and I hated it. I hated life. I was so pissed. I was mad, dude. You go from like opening all these shows. That year I met DMX, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
So you're
open for 50 Cent within that same year.
Whole country?
Everywhere, man. We weren't getting paid though. It's back then you're just doing it to be cool. Like, oh, you look at me, I'm opening for 50 Cent. And which was a great experience. Wouldn't even take a picture with us, one of the only ones. But the whole experience was pretty cool. But then when you're younger, you realize, well, wow, I was about 27, 28, and I realized I have no money to my name. So that was a tough one to swallow.
And that's how it's set up for all those opening acts where you're not getting paid.
No, you're getting the exposure.
You're getting the exposure.
You better go sell some CDs and some shirts and but looking back on it though, I think one of my biggest regrets was quitting. 27, 28 is not very old.
Right.
And I was approaching 30. I thought I was getting old. My sisters are married, having kids. My family's like, when are you getting married? And you'd hear that all the time. When are you getting married? And you think you're getting old. You think you need to have your career figured out. That'd be my biggest advice to anybody. You're never too old to start something. And I don't think you're ever, 30's not old. 30's so young, and you still have a lot of time to figure things out. And I really think if I wouldn't have quit, wouldn't be sitting here with you guys.
We'd be on your podcast.
Fucking dude, I'd be sitting on the Breakfast Club, man. No offense, the Missoula podcast is dope, but I'd be swaying in the morning. The Breakfast Club, and nobody knows Jelly Roll. They'd be like, who? Jelly who?
So what was it? The pressure from your family, like, hey, you need to get
a little bit, yeah,
get a mortgage.
Yeah, my parents would disagree with me, but yeah, it was family, it was friends, it was like, hey, I need to make money, I need to start a family, yada yada yada. And my wife, who's still with me, thank God. I'm a lucky man. I put her through hell and back.
Your wife's pretty amazing.
Dude, people only know the half of it.
How did you guys end up together?
She was with me during that
She
shit
lose
show.
a bet or
Yeah. Look at me, Brandon. That time, everybody was lined out the door. They were like, that's our biz. Like, I got to get it, I was like, ladies. I got the list. No, I'm just.
So and in that season of life, that's when you really started becoming an entrepreneur. Kind of hit pause on the music scene.
I went to DirecTV in 2007 and hated it.
I haven't heard anybody say it different than that.
Well, I just hated working.
It wasn't big on the phone all day?
Yeah, so I'm like, I went to DirecTV. I got fired. Then I went to work. I was the manager for the Come and Go gas station on the north side, which is now like a Zip Trip, I think. I got fired. At that point, my best friend at the time was moving back because he got a divorce. And he's like, I'm like, we got to do something, man. And I had seen my old roommate. He put up a website. At that time, a website was pretty rare for our area. And he was doing multiple weddings. He had a calendar up of his weddings and he had 2 or 3 on one day. And it didn't even click that he hired people. And I was like, how the hell are you doing that? And he's like, I hired people. And man, I went, we can do that here. And we'll market it and make it a professional thing and a big deal. And that's what we did with RMF.
Crazy. So for the audience listening who may not be familiar, RMF, what is that? What does RMF do? Who are you guys?
It's a wedding DJ company. Started around the beginning of 2007. And we started it just so we didn't have to work for anybody else. And plus DJing weddings is fun.
Yeah. Weddings are a blast.
It's like, yeah, it's that, it's a fun time. It's a party. And we figured out a way to make a living doing it.
Yeah.
By 2010, we were doing up to 6 weddings every Saturday. By 2013, we were doing over 13 weddings a Saturday. And by 2016, it was like almost 15 weddings to 20 weddings a week between, for Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, 10 DJs, just a conglomerate of guys.
And so through that, you had to learn how to hire, manage a business, run a calendar, communicate with brides.
Communicating with brides nonstop, emails nonstop, managing DJs. But I had really good help, man. Really good help. And a lot of those guys, what was the great thing that made it work back then is that we utilized control in the sense of we were buying everybody's gear and we were booking all the weddings. We were planning all the weddings. So it made sense for guys, to always keep coming back. And we would make sure their calendars were full. It's a little bit more of a challenge these days to do that in that space now because, guys can go buy their own gear. They realize, oh, hey, if I'm independent, I can do my own thing. And so it's harder to find loyalty to a brand where everybody just thinks it's so easy and they're going to go off and do
technology
their own thing.
And apps.
Exactly.
Everybody's a DJ today.
Exactly. You literally can have an app on your phone that'll just pre-mix everything for you. So as far as a DJ itself, you're not DJing. Most guys aren't really DJing. I have a guy on my staff that's a phenomenal actual DJ, Colin Marshall, and no DJ Coma.
I don't.
Dude, the guy's an actual DJ. And we've been on turntables for years. But I sold RMF in 2018, the beginning of 2018, to a guy who worked for me who's doing an incredible job with it. So,
and you're still DJing. Is that on your own, or are you now an employee of RMF? Do you have any ties to RMF?
I have ties just in the sense that me and Jordan are really close. He's who owns RMF now. Okay. We do a lot of business together and other things. We have for about a decade now. So there's that tie, but no, I sold it to him and we do share an office though. And when I sold it to him, he was cool about letting me navigate the space still. Cause I wanted to still do my own weddings. I just didn't want to manage 12, 13 guys at a time. And I wanted to get into other businesses, other investments and other things.
Sure.
So that was the only way to do that is to have a large sum of money.
Yeah.
And so I took the chance. I was like, I had this like, I I sold it and instantly lost my identity.
Mm.
So it was all I ever knew. And then I had to recreate myself. Now I'm glad I did it. But for about 2 years, it's
Yeah.
sucked.
Well, here's the thing that I've been in a lot of weddings, and a great DJ can make or break it. It's not just playing the right music. It's getting people going. It's transitioning on a dime.
Oh
And I
man,
bet you love that because you were the go-to guy like of the party.
we're the most important vendor at a wedding,
For sure.
without
And
question.
your background, you have a degree in communications.
Yeah.
You have a
Mhm.
background in
Yeah.
music. Like,
It's the most important vendor at a wedding.
So you're
It's like,
go ahead.
because they have the biggest part of it is announcements. It's really being good on a microphone, corralling people, getting people to listen, to understand what's coming up next, working with other vendors so that they know what's going on. And we're always, I mean, for some reason, the DJ is that guy, like, oh, you need a chair move, the DJ will move the chair. It's just, you get asked to do a lot of things that are even outside
Mhm.
of your scope of work.
And so when you say you lost your identity, was it just being in that scene, or was it being a business owner? What
It
was
was
that?
RMF. That's all I knew. It's what I
Mhm.
was. We had built RMF to be a really big brand, and it's huge. They're still doing, they can fall asleep for 6 months and book out the next 2 years.
Yeah.
It's a monster. And they got good guys over there, man. Right now, they got a really good staff. And
well,
um,
I can tell you, Ryan, last week or 2 weeks ago, Steven and I, we were in our productions team meeting and looking at upcoming scheduled podcasts. And I was filling them in on, hey, Ryan Bradshaw's a guest. And they asked, who's he? And I said, oh, he started RMF Entertainment. And everyone in the room was, oh, yeah, RMF. Yeah, familiar with
Yeah,
them.
it's
like,
great
it was
brand,
That's
just
cool.
great brand
great brand
recognition.
recognition. So,
Yeah.
no, job well done. I do know, going on tangent here, you and your wife have both had success in the multi-level marketing
yeah, oh yeah,
industry.
yeah.
In fact,
Oh, we got to talk about
in
that.
fact, I remember your BMW that
Yeah.
you got. Just so obviously that takes grind and hustle and
Oh, it was a grind.
sales. And your wife still today is crushing it with Mary
Yeah,
Kay.
she's doing phenomenal, Mary
Doing-
Kay. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
just because she didn't quit.
She's
Remember, like earlier we were talking about if you just don't quit.
yeah. I mean, she's got the vehicle. She's
Mhm.
done it all.
I drove it here.
Did you?
Yeah, I was right outside. Mary Kay all over it.
That's awesome.
What's that experience been like for you being in the MLM
You know, so I started in 2013. And that's what's ironic is the guy I sold RMF to is the guy that got me in it. I knew of him. He was actually a fan of mine in music.
Hmm.
And I knew of him because he played for my uncle in basketball. And so I just saw him one day. We were, sometimes you come to a crossroads, and we had been doing Halloween events nonstop. And I'm always looking for ways to make more money.
Hmm.
And I saw him laying on a Mercedes. He had did this photo shoot, and he's laying on a Mercedes with a Verb. And he's like, I got this paid for by Vima. And I'm like looking at Neil as my business partner in RMF. It's like, if this knucklehead Waldo can get a free BMW off this company, I'm like, me and you were going to make millions. And that was exactly what it was. Call him. He's like, all right. He's like, call 10 of your best. So we did. We called a meeting with 10 people that I thought would kill it. 8 out of the 10 got on board right on the spot, and we created a fire that was, it just mowed Montana down for a while. We by the time at our height had 3,000 people in 13 states.
Crazy.
It was massive.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, why were you so good at this? I mean, this is not.
You
You talk about it was like it was easy, but it's not. I know it's not.
Well, no, it's not. It was to be honest with you, and I'm not very proud of this now, but I'll tell her, I'll say it how it is, man. It's taking advantage of people
Mhm.
in a certain sense of, it was influence.
Yeah.
We had massive influence. At that time, It was like if we were to say jump, everyone's like, how high? And we knew we could create a massive excitement. Network marketing, and I'm going to exclude Mary Kay. Mary Kay's been around for 50 years.
Right.
Most of these companies, though, and the one I was in was called Vima, and I will say they're doing really well now. They underwent an investigation and won. It was you were going to influence people. You were going to have these big events, and it was painting the picture like, hey, we do this, we're all going to get rich, and we're all going to get vehicles, and we're all going to make money. And it was easy to sell that.
Sure.
I'm a good sale. I can sell. So when it comes to selling something, it was easy for us. It was very easy for us to go from, but is it ethically right? I don't know, man. Because you knew there's some people getting in it, you just knew they didn't have a chance in hell. And they're coming in with their last $500 to sign up. You just know they don't have a chance at making a dime. And that started to get to us a little bit. There was about a year where I really believed it. Like I was like, man, this thing is the legit thing. So it wasn't all like, I'm just trying to bamboozle you.
No.
I really believe it. And the products are good. I still will order it every now and then. The vitamin was phenomenal. I don't even know if I can talk about some of it. You start realizing like there's cheating going on, and there's the people at the top of those are they're at the top for a reason in most cases.
Right. They've
So
climbed over a lot of people to get there. When did you transition out of that?
that would have been 2015.
Okay.
Can I say one thing though about Vima real quick? I don't want to make it sound like it was a total bad thing, because the best part of those companies, if you're in one, I almost encourage people to get in one, but just like the product. Don't like the hype, just like the product. Because to this day, some of the best friends I have and people I know in business or otherwise just came from Vima. I wouldn't know. There's a lady in Denver. Her name's Michelle Barnes. She's phenomenal. Jordan, who I sold RMF to, Vima. My business partner in manscaping, Vima. I would not know. The networking aspect of those companies can be incredible if you're getting out there and meeting people.
Yeah, because it attracts guys. We're in sales too. It attracts ambitious people that want more for their life, that are grinders. Like, of course, those are great.
Yep.
Those are great people.
Yeah.
You want to be surrounded by those types.
Ryan, there you mentioned manscaping. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. So I started manscaping 2020. Actually, right at the end of 2019 is when we were kind of getting going.
Great time to start a business.
Yeah, it was.
Hold on, before you get in, did you have any, like, how did this idea come to you, manscaping?
Well, so I wanted to get into some other stuff.
Okay.
And I have dumped thousands into cryptocurrency. I did the Forex trading, and it's not working, and especially Forex trading. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah. I've had some friends that do that.
There's people make good money. Rich people there's people but that's a 1%. And then the other 99 of us that think that we can do it, you can go to these trainings. No, it's calculated gambling, and you better be very good at it. But 2019, so Casey, who I was in Vima with, he is good at Forex. He was like, hey, I need an investor, because he wanted to leave the landscaping company he was in. He's like, I want to start my own. He's like, do you want to do this? And so I said, sure. Looked at some of it. I like to be involved in businesses that have a need no matter what. Wedding industry, there's always going to have, even the only thing that derailed weddings in all my years is COVID. And it didn't even last that long.
Right.
Same thing with lawn care. Everybody always needs their lawn mowed. So the need for it is so high all the time. It's easy to do it if you just have good customer service and you have good employees. And so it's from there, it's just a matter of hard work, and it's grown from there.
I don't know that I was number one, but I was one of the first manscaping customers.
Oh yeah.
I think you were in the first year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Very beginning.
Yeah.
So one, manscaping takes care of our lawn. And seriously, Ryan, your team, your guys, your crew do a phenomenal job. Great guys, work hard, get it done. It looks great. But I like it because I can come home and be sure to let my family know, hey, I got the lawn taken care of today, and
Yeah.
didn't lift a finger.
Yeah. See.
Uh, but no, you guys seriously do a great job, and I know we've talked year
Yeah.
over year. You guys this is year 3, year 4 for you,
4.
and your crews are
They're-
getting larger.
everything's
Your
doing good.
equipment, I mean, you guys are multiplying.
Every year we've grown,
Yeah.
growing exponentially. It's been great growth.
Yeah.
We've got a good group of guys, and we've had to navigate some challenges this year.
Yeah.
But it's been overall very good growth, very good crew. And this is the industry that you're only as good as the guys that are working for you, for sure.
Is that most of your marketing is just word of mouth? People,
Yeah, word of mouth, social media,
Yeah.
our name. It's
Mhm.
easy to market our name,
for sure.
Manscaping. We would kind of play off the name,
Mhm.
and but again, Casey knew a lot of people here. I know a lot of people here, and a lot of good people that knew us gave us a chance in the beginning.
Yeah.
So that helps out.
What's the biggest challenge with the landscaping company? I
Uh,
mean, is it
employment.
always employers?
Yeah,
Employment?
it's finding guys to work.
Mhm.
Finding, and we have a good core of guys that always show up, but they need
Yeah.
help.
One thing is last year I saw with manscaping, and actually, Ryan, you joke a lot about how much you don't like to work and don't want to work for anyone, and I understand what you're saying, but you have a ton of work ethic and drive, and
Mhm.
just in this last season, I know your business partner Casey walked through just a terrible, tragic situation in his own personal life, which took him away from work. And I happened to see one day Ryan out there with a lawnmower, who Ryan left his office, got in a truck. Ryan was out there with his crew working, mowing lawns because the job needed done. And I think that's phenomenal leadership when you're down in the trenches with your guys. Speaks volumes. And so that day I was actually
Yeah, I
very,
remember that.
very
I remember that,
impressed
man.
that,
Yeah.
gosh, you're out there in your Jordans.
Yeah, I had to get out there, man, for about 5 weeks.
Yeah. So
Going out,
spoke-
a day or two a week, trying to get it.
speaks volumes.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Just in that same vein of entrepreneurship, your son, your 14-year-old son, is now running a business in Missoula. And is that taking off? How's he doing? What are you learning?
He's doing
from
all
that?
right. He's doing all right. He's losing interest.
Is he?
If I'm being honest. Yeah. He is losing a little bit of interest, but you know what? To his credit, and I give him a lot of credit for being a teenager at 14 is all. He's actually this summer really bailed us out in the mowing. He has a knack, and it sounds easy to operate a 0-turn mower. It's not.
No.
And so I'll even get on one and I'll mow, and you'll think everything's smooth, and you'll whip that thing around, and your line's like. He has an uncanny knack for mowing straight as an arrow. Yeah, zips that thing around. And so we've been sending him out. About 5-6 weeks this summer, he would go out, help out, mow up 20, 30 lawns in a week. And so we did take him out of that element a little bit to help us out.
Dad's business is more important.
Yeah.
The dog poop scooping business is kind of on hold right now.
So it's on hold, but I'm gonna take that to the moon, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's an easy hustle. So I don't even care if everybody else hears it. You got to actually do the work.
Right.
You give everybody your ideas, but then it's executing it.
Right.
Easiest hustle, man. And they're paying.
And there's a lot of dogs in Missoula.
Yeah, there's a one very good company here in Missoula. I'll even give them a shout out. It's Montana Pooper Scoopers. When I heard what they make, a client, I was standing there looking at this lady, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But it's a spring hustle or a spring cleanup hustle, So like, it's almost like a fireworks stand for 8 weeks in April and May.
It's nuts.
You can make such a good side income that's what we're shooting for next spring.
That's awesome.
So
and probably pretty low startup cost. To get that
super
going.
low.
Yeah,
super low. We're just gonna get the website launched there in the winter. We'll start marketing it heavy throughout the winter, and the goal is to get 200 clients for spring cleanup.
Do you have a name for the business yet? Is that public?
It's K9. It's the K9 crew. Canine Cleanup Crew. Yeah, it's on Facebook.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but he'll do good with that, I think, in the spring. But if you get the right amount of clients, the right amount of money, I mean, if you did the math on it, you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, before we get to our rapid fire questions, what's next for Ryan Bradshaw? What's coming in the near future? So I know there's always something new on the radar.
Well, we're gonna rap. We're gonna rap again, man. We're gonna have
You're back.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put out some new music, and I'm excited about that because it's something we've toyed with for a while, and it's fun. I always tell, like, for me, I think it's important to do things you love to do. And so if you're doing what you love, it's not work. And so sometimes lately, and in the last few years, it feels like I'm working, and I hate that. I want to feel more like I'm doing stuff I love to do, and I love messing with music. So we're gonna be doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Okay, so you've talked a lot about some of the businesses you've started. And you didn't want to work for any, but why? What is the internal drive for you? Why are you so motivated? I guess a better question is what's your why? What's your purpose and passion for doing the things that you do?
I think honestly at this point, it started out, my why was because I just wanted to own my own business. I don't want to clock in at a certain time. If I wake up at 10 in the morning one day and I don't want to go into work, I don't have to go into work. That was what it started out. Now it's just more for my family. I have 4 kids, so I'd say my why is making sure that they're okay. Or also, I think, to set an example for my kids, that I really believe that when you work hard at something, and you can declutter your mind and surround yourself with the right people, that you can really get done whatever you can do whatever you want. So I think it's showing them that, because our kids, this generation of kids, they have a lot to deal with, a lot more stuff ever. So I think I would say that's my why now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Where can people find you? And specifically, as you're making some more music, how can they tap into that, or what's some social medias that they can follow you?
You just get on Facebook. I only mess with Facebook and Instagram. I don't have TikToks or any of that other stuff. But it's, just search up Ryan Bradshaw and you'll find all my stuff.
All right.
I'll be promoting our biz here pretty soon, and we'll get some music out there to the world.
Awesome, man.
Sweet. We ready for some rapid fire questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Ryan, what is your earliest memory of Missoula, since we are on the Missoula podcast?
The Village 6.
Yeah,
so
what's that?
You would come down here and watch movies. When I was in junior high school, it was the one thing to come down here and do. Reserve was dirt road.
My parents met working at the Village 6 Theater.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this was the big city for drumming.
Oh,
kids.
it was. Yeah, you came to Missoula to do something.
So the Village 6 Theater, if my memory is correct, was where McKenzie River,
It is.
5 on Black,
all that
whole strip right there was
the Village 6
Theater.
Awesome.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Great memory.
What's your favorite coffee shop in Missoula?
Oh man, I would say Good Americano or City Brew. Good Americano's good. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, in Rosar's.
And Rosar's there. They do a good job in there. Yeah, that'd be it.
Good Americano.
Cool. What's your favorite restaurant?
That's a tough one, man.
I feel like the food in Missoula has gotten better.
It depends what I'm in the mood for. Like if I want, let's say I love Zutai. Zutai's good, man. 1889 though, like if I want to go, 1889 has the most phenomenal Brussels sprouts. You
it's
like
that
Brussels
whole
sprouts?
Block.
The
food on that block is amazing.
And the Old Post
Oh,
has good food too. So, but I think it really depends on my mood. I love food.
So if you're taking your wife on a date, you going to 1889 or Zutai?
We would go to 1889 maybe, or the Old Post probably. Yeah.
Awesome. What's your zip code?
804, 59804.
59804.
Okay. Especially coming from outside of Missoula. So did I. I'm a Dillon boy, so you missed out on being a bulldog in Dillon. Um,
Yeah.
but Missoula's weird, and that's you see those bumper stickers all the time.
Yeah.
Keep Missoula weird. What's the weirdest thing about Missoula to you?
You really want me to answer that, Brandon?
We're not sure, but go ahead.
You know, I there I would say, and I'm gonna be politically correct. I think Missoula's weird in general just because, we're like almost like we're a melting pot for a lot of different stuff as far as music goes. I think as far as cultures go, which I think different cultures is great. I better be careful how I word this. Um, I think that's all a good thing, but I think the weirdest thing though, so we went to Seattle this last week, and everybody was telling me like, "Oh, be careful. There's going to be all this." To me, per capita, Missoula's downtown is worse than Seattle's. We look like Skid Row downtown right now, and I think it's weird because we're not doing anything about it. We need to come up with something, man. I don't have the solutions, but we're just letting people just trash it down there. So that's why it's weird to me. Other than that, everything else is great.
Well, last question. What do you love most about Missoula?
I like that. I like that for the most part, it's still a trusting community. I like the school my kids go to. I think that good family, good friends. I've been here. I'm comfortable with it. That's also the gift and the curse. I think sometimes you know too many people, but it's still small enough to where you can come in, do fun things like this, and it's a good place for kids. I think still.
Awesome. Well, dude, thanks for being here.
Yeah, man.
You've been a friend a long time. Appreciate you. Love your family.
Yeah, you guys
Love
are
that our
great.
boys are friends. Yeah, keep hustling. Excited to see what's next for you.
Oh man, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Celtics.